Sometimes in a family enterprise, someone is expected to carry the outcome. They are expected to lead, to prepare, to be ready, to care, to protect the family, to keep the business moving, to make things work. But when it is time to act, they do not actually have the authority to move. This is the pattern I want to name today: responsibility without authority. It can look reasonable from the outside. A person may have a role, a title, a future promise, a family expectation, a place in the conversation. People may say, "This is your responsibility now," or "You need to step up," or "You should take ownership." But when that person tries to make a real move, something stops. They need approval. They need permission. They need someone else to agree. They need to be careful not to upset the person who still holds the real power. So the responsibility is placed on them, but the authority does not fully arrive. And for the person inside that position, it can feel confusing. From the outside, others may see hesitation. They may think this person lacks confidence. They may think this person is not ready. They may think this person is avoiding responsibility. But from the inside, the experience may be very different. They may feel the weight of responsibility clearly. They may know what others expect from them. They may understand that their choices affect the family, the business, the employees, and the future. But they also know there are limits they are not supposed to cross. There are decisions they are expected to own but not allowed to shape. There are outcomes they are expected to deliver but not allowed to control. There are conversations they are expected to lead but not allowed to define. That gap matters because responsibility without authority can quietly create frustration, fear, and paralysis. A person may stop trying, not because they do not care, but because every attempt teaches them that the responsibility is real while the authority is conditional. They may become careful. They may wait. They may check the room before speaking. They may avoid taking initiative because initiative without permission can become dangerous. And then the family may look at them and say, "Why are you not stepping up?" But a better question may be, what are they being asked to carry without being allowed to move? This is not only a next gen issue. It can happen to a sibling asked to manage family harmony without real influence. It can happen to a spouse expected to support the family system but excluded from real conversations. It can happen to a non family executive asked to professionalize the business while the family overrides difficult decisions. It can happen to a founder who is told to let go while everyone still sends the hardest questions back to them. It can happen anywhere. Responsibility and authority do not match. When that mismatch becomes invisible, people start misreading the person. They call them passive or controlling or unprepared or resistant or too emotional. But sometimes the people are simply standing inside an invisible assignment. They are accountable in expectation but limited in action. They carry the pressure but not the mandate. They absorb the consequence but do not hold the authority to change the conditions. Over time, this can damage trust. The person may begin to doubt themselves. Others may begin to doubt them too. The family may keep asking for more maturity, more leadership, more ownership. But without real authority, those words can become unfair. Because leadership is not only a personal quality, leadership also requires a space where action is allowed to matter. If every meaningful move must be approved elsewhere, then the person is not truly leading. They are performing responsibility inside someone else's authority. That is why this pattern is so important to notice. Not to blame the people who still hold authority, not to rescue the person carrying responsibility, not to say every person who feels limited should be given full control. Authority must be earned, trusted, and tested. But responsibility must also be honest. If someone is only being invited to participate, call it participation. If someone is being trained, call it training. If someone is being consulted, call it consultation. If someone is expected to execute someone else's decision, call it execution. But do not call it ownership if they cannot actually own the decision. Because unclear language creates unclear expectations. And unclear expectations create resentment. For the family member who notices this pattern, the doorway is awareness. Notice where responsibility is being assigned. Notice where authority is actually held. Notice where the two do not meet. Not to attack, not to accuse, not to demand immediate change, but to see the situation more clearly. Because sometimes the family is not stuck because someone refuses to lead. Sometimes the family is stuck because leadership has been expected before authority has been released. And sometimes the person who looks hesitant is not weak. They may be accurately sensing the limits of the space they are standing in. Responsibility without authority creates a strange kind of burden. You are expected to carry the outcome, but you cannot fully shape the path. You are expected to be accountable, but you cannot fully decide. You are expected to act like the future, but the present still belongs somewhere else. So before asking, why won't this person step up? It may be worth asking, what authority would make this responsibility real? Because when responsibility and authority are separated for too long, the family may not be developing leadership. It may be developing confusion. And once that becomes visible, the family has a new doorway. Not into blame, not but into reality. Because a real responsibility needs more than expectation. It needs the authority to act.